What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded podcast, the podcast where we talk all things tabletop gaming. My name is Jason.
And my name is James.
And I'm Ant.
How are you doing this week, guys?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You really aren't ever going to put me off.
I was trying to do it. Did you like elongate one of the words there just to try and catch him out?
I did. I'm not going to lie.
One of the days, me and James are going to do it. That will really put you off.
Watching out of the corner of my eye to see if I could catch him out, but no, unfortunately it didn't work.
You've got to try and beat my... I can't remember what it was that caused it, but I actually managed to make him choke during the intro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it did happen. It was a fair while ago, actually. I can't even remember what you did, to be fair. But yeah, it does happen occasionally. I'm not always professional as well. Let's be honest, I'm never professional.
Until you edit it out. Okay?
Oh, the editing.
Oh, the beauty of editing, indeed. But how are we doing this week, guys?
All good. Same as working, gaming, as always.
Yeah, it's not so bad. We've actually had a fair amount of games this past week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, it's been nice. I mean, not like we've played anything new.
No. But then it's not always about new games, is it?
It's not. Sometimes it is nice to play some older games. We got to play quite a bit of Unmatched, which we haven't played for a while.
We did, yeah.
Nice. Try and get me in the mood to buy all the new sets as they inevitably come out right before Expo.
Yeah. If and when they come out, anyway.
Well, yeah, because obviously a lot of the sets have been out in America for plenty of time, but they're still not here on our fair shores.
As always. We're always getting everything last.
Well, yeah. But... Hey, what can we do? James, what about you? How's your week been?
Oh, pretty much the same as Ants, work.
Yeah.
We had gaming last night, that was good.
We did. You had a night off from Game Club on Monday. You left me to deal with it all.
I did, and it was horrifically busy, as is always the way.
Yeah, you couldn't have taken the night off the week before when it was horrifically dead. So what's the excuse, James? What's the excuse?
I was feeling like poop.
Yes, so was I at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. If it makes you feel any better, I did see the pictures you put up of how ungodly busy it was, and I did have a small pang of guilt and then laughed.
Yeah. I believe the last part of that, James. I'm not sure I agree that you
I did
any modicum of guilt.
I did feel a little bit of guilt because it was just like, oh great, it's busy, and then I was like,
It's still good to see the gaming club thriving.
Yes.
Busy, though.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it. It was actually a really good night, to be fair. Pretty much runs itself, which is nice. It's just that initial setup to get it open, and, it was the first time I've been able to sort of get our on-site tuck shop back in, so I had to get that delivered, then come home, and then get back to the club and set up. And, it was just an absolute nightmare that... Yeah, I was.
Joys of being able to drive again, Jason.
Exactly. Yeah, it's lovely. I am back to work as well. I'm back to work full time, which is nice. Which means I should be back on my full wage, hopefully just before Expo.
Just in time for Expo. Yeah. Timed that well, didn't you?
Yay! I've got money. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah,
it's gone. Got an all one weekend.
And
it's gone.
Beautiful South Park reference. But yes, we've agreed to do a top 5 episode today, have we?
We are.
Yeah. How was making your lists, gentlemen?
In true last-minute fashion, I made my list on the bus on the way here.
That doesn't surprise me even in the slightest. What about you, Anne? How much have you pained over your list?
It took me most of the day to do it, to pick what I wanted. Then I've chopped and changed stuff over. So it's essentially the same list, but I've moved them around differently, actually thinking about it. So
nice. So in true top 5 list building fashion, when this episode comes out in about 2 weeks' time,
it will be different.
It'll be completely different.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And I think I'm the same.
That's the beauty of top 5s. They can change instantly.
So now me and you have a wager going on.
We do.
We have a wager going on that we think we've predicted James's entire list. And we're not going to say a damn thing about it until the end of this episode. And we'll figure out just how much of it we got right.
Okay.
So that sounds good. And I think the wager here needs to be that James has to buy us a pint for each one that we get right.
Okay. At Expo, right?
So
it'll cost him an arm and a leg.
Even more expensive, yeah.
So it'll be like over a tenner.
Because he's not going to buy games. So we need to make him spend his money.
Buy him beer.
I mean, normally I'd be absolutely fine with this bet because Jason would forget by the time we got to Expo. I'm not so sure Ant will.
I might, to be honest.
No, when alcohol, in fact, no, I'll up the stakes.
Okay.
Because I'm not a huge beer drinker, which is why James is feeling good. If the
No, I'm not buying you one of those fish bowls. You can
No, if the hog roast stand is there, I want a hog roast for every single time.
I mean, James,
hog roast for every game.
James, I'll take a promo card for everyone.
So yeah, I think James has verbally accepted that bet.
You might as well just buy the whole hog roast, Jason. It's just...
Excuse me, I need to borrow your pig.
I've got a bet to pay back.
Yeah, I'm suddenly loving this little wager.
Little wager that all of a sudden it's just been sprung on James. By the way,
it's not going to
the first he's heard of it. Bless.
It's not going to cost me a single thing. I love it. It's great. So yeah, an interesting list. Mm-hmm. I found it quite difficult to do, despite the fact that I came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason does like torturing himself. It's like, that's a brilliant idea, but now I actually have to do something with it.
Yeah, I've spent the whole day driving around London today thinking about it, and obviously murdering many, many people as I was driving along thinking, rather than paying attention to the road. And I've been arrested. I've been to jail, but now I'm here.
All over board games.
The dedication is right there.
So what is the top 5, Jason?
So the top 5 we're going to do this time is, what games would you like to be Jumanjied into and why? Yeah.
Okay, so explain to the audience what that would mean.
Well, I mean, if you haven't seen Jumanji, then
where have you been?
You don't deserve to listen to this podcast, frankly. Bugger off and watch it. The original, obviously.
The Robin Williams one, by all means, yeah.
One, right. But to set some parameters here, there are multiple versions of Jumanji. There is obviously the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson version,
mm-hmm.
But they are quite seemingly different. So the Robin Williams one, he obviously gets sucked into a board game, and he then has to live within the world in that board game as himself.
Yeah.
Whereas the newer version is some nerds playing a game.
Yeah.
And they get sucked into the game, but they become the characters in the game. So I think...
So you got best of both worlds. When
you've got the best of both worlds, and I think in fairness... especially as I didn't set these parameters before you wrote your lists, I'm going to accept both.
Okay.
So if you want to go into a game and become a character in that game, fine. If you just want to go into the world that exists, that is also fine.
It's fine.
And I'm saying that because I know that I fall in both of those camps.
Yeah, I was going to say there's certain games on my list where it's like, I'd like to just explore the world, and there's definitely someone there where it's like, no, I want to be one of the characters.
And I said to you earlier, and I've kind of tried to stay away from all the popular IP stuff, so because that would have been the list full stop. If that was the case, that would have been easy.
I want to be Captain America.
Yeah.
I want to be Iron Man.
Yeah. I want to be Luke Skywalker or whatever.
Yeah,
so it would that would have been so. So I've tried to stay away and tried to go for pretty easy and basic ideas.
Okay, James, have you got any special criteria that you've worked on your list?
No, I think the two that you've set is how I built mine.
Okay, cool, fair enough. Are you ready then? Shall we dive into the top 5s?
I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm almost ready. I'm just getting the soundboard ready.
Nice. Is James ready then?
I am ready.
James is ready.
Don't be ready, James. I need a couple more seconds here.
So are you actually going to accept this bet?
I've got it on recording, mate. It's accepted.
That's
right.
Fine.
Shall we do this?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the countdown.
Alrighty, so new swanky intro and stuff,
Nice.
all done and dusted. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Do you have your list in any particular order to your knowledge? Because I know I haven't. I've just sort of come up with 5
mine
and
aren't in any particular order. No.
Mine sort of is. I suppose it is ordered from like bottom to top.
Yeah,
the number,
apart
the
from
number
that, yeah.
one probably is like the number one that I'd like to be
Okay, fair enough.
Jumanjied into.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's the point of a top 5. Obviously, the last one is the first one that you want to be.
Yeah.
Want to have,
I mean, the main reason I ask that is because I can't actually remember which way round the buttons are. So I might press one and
and straight to number 1. What?
But that's the thing. I know that they go in sequential order, but I can't remember if it's in reverse. So it might say number 1 first, and it might say number 5.
And then we can cut it out.
This is the beauty of editing.
Yes, indeed.
It never happened.
Yeah, but that's no fun. It just makes it fun when people know that I've
Pressed the wrong button.
pressed the wrong button.
The good old days of the news show, we used to get the intro and the outro mixed up all the time.
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time. But anyway, let's dive in to our top 5s with number 5.
Yes! Yes. Huzzah!
I did it right. Woo! Right.
He
so
pressed the button, James.
we don't know who's going first.
I went first last time, so definitely not me.
You did. James is.
I will
James is
volunteer to go
volunteering.
first. Only because I know you're waiting with bated breath to see if you can tick the first one off your list.
All right, go on then. I'll let you have that.
Accepted. Okay, so my number 5 is Robot Quest Arena.
Damn it. He's only doing it because we played it last night.
Nope.
He's changed his idea.
Nope.
And explain why, sir.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't want to be part of Robot Wars?
So would you be the robot or are you controlling the robot?
Well, on the card, it does. You get the name of the robot and the name of its
character,
controller.
yeah. Yeah.
So I would imagine that you are the controller.
Okay.
Because, I don't actually want to be bashed to pieces in the middle of the arena.
I was getting excited when he first said it. I was like, yeah, I can see James being a robot and getting absolutely demolished. That sounds fun. I might actually change one.
But yeah, I mean, as someone who was a fanatic Robot Wars fan growing up, it's like, yeah, why would I not want to be taken into a game where I can basically be on Robot Wars?
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So, I mean,
so would you take sorry, James. James would you take a character from the actual board game itself, or would you build your own robot out of it?
I guess with the criteria, it's like I would take one of the robots.
You take one from there.
In there because you're taking the place of one of the controllers.
Yeah.
Doesn't use much creativity that way, does it? It's
No,
like,
but
it's
still,
already done for me.
you're still using the game's...
yeah, because if you're being Jumanjied into the game under those parameters we've set, you would have to use one of the set pieces that's in the game.
Exactly.
You can exist in the game without doing that. But yeah, that's fine. It's understandable. I probably would do the same because, yeah, why not? It's already there. I don't have to do much else. I can just pick one of the robots that I know is really powerful. And boom, I'm in. That's actually quite a good one. I'd not really thought of that as like a game to be Jumanjied into, I guess. But it would be damn fun.
It would actually.
Damn fun. I really do like that game. It would be very, very fun. And as I'm a fanatic Robot Wars fan. I mean, hell, I was watching it yesterday.
Yeah.
The old one, obviously Craig Giles version. Not brought on by the fact that I obviously set up the game for us to play and found all my old Robot Wars toys and was playing with them and
adding them to the game.
Yeah, adding them to the game, adding some of them as referees.
The ref bot.
And I got the arena out, and it was brilliant. Loved it.
You had the flame thing in the middle as well. That was pretty cool.
Yes, I did indeed. You should wait until I get the other sets out. Oh, really good. They're really good. But James, anything else you want to add on about Robot Quest Arena?
No, I think that we've covered it as like, I want to be drawn into a game that allows me to
fight robots.
Yeah.
Nice. I do think you should go in the arena, though. It would be good fun. So you
actually get to voice the robot as well.
That'd be good.
That would not be a PG show.
It'd be like a James 3PO, if you will.
Oh, dear God, that's a horrible thought. Well, I think in true board game fashion, we should go clockwise. So
I knew you'd do that. Right, my number 5. Right, so I am in no shape or form a fan of this genre whatsoever, but this game has put me back into the limelight of this genre, and I have picked Western Legends.
Okay.
Western Legends is pretty much what it says. It's a cowboy-themed board game.
Yep.
Probably one of the best cowboy board games out there because you can do literally anything in this game to do with a cowboy.
Yeah, because it's like an open sandbox world.
Pretty much, like hunt for gold. You can, grab cattle. You can educate hoes. You can play poker. One of the expansions, you can do a train robbery, just to take part as one of the famous cowboys in that, and just relive that and have an experience with it. That's why I've kind of gone with this one. And again, I don't like Westerns at all. I'm not like Western movies or anything at all. I find them quite boring. But I think I put it on here because I want to have the experience of it. Yeah. And that's why I've pretty much put it on here.
You want to channel your inner Clint Eastwood.
Just see what the whole fuss is about,
Why do I get the feeling that if any of us three were Jumanjied into a game like that, it would be more Million Ways to Die in the West?
Yeah,
most likely, yeah, pretty much.
As long as I'm like Liam Neeson, you know what I mean? The bad guy.
Just remember that it's always better with a moustache.
Yeah, this is very true.
It's true.
Oh, what a film that is.
I haven't seen that film for ages.
But no, I like the idea actually of going into the whole Western thing. Like I said, you joke about like, the Clint Eastwood, but I'll be honest, it's not something I sort of would do in my actual life, but I love, the design of like proper old school cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I weirdly even like the old sort of Stetson style hats and stuff, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like I said, in the game you've got the shop where you can upgrade your guns, you can upgrade your horse or mule, whatever you want to call it. There's just so much to that game that you could probably have a really good cowboy experience with. If you ever Jumanjied into it, I suppose.
Do you actually have Western?
No, I don't have it. I don't know.
No, because it's a game that's always eluded me, and I've never.
No, it's very good.
Never been able to play
it sounds intriguing, and it sounds like a game that I'd actually want to play.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think like Great Western Trails, and there's another one that's out. I can't remember what the name of it. You're very limited to what you can do, because I think Great Western Trails is literally about just rustling up some cattle, whereas this, it's anything goes. You can do anything that a cowboy would do in this game. It's very, very good, very well done.
Yeah.
And you can always have a different path of it every time you play that game. So another reason to give it a go. Yeah. And give it a be Jumanjied into it and have an experience with it.
Hell yeah. Be Jumanjied in and start attacking the prospectors.
Exactly.
Welcome to the world. Give us your money. That definitely sounds fun.
My pick.
Excellent. That's a really good pick. I like that, sir. I'm going to come in with something that's probably not quite so good, but it had to be on my list because I wanted to be involved in this even as a kid. And it's made it onto this list because they did eventually make a board game of it. So damn it, it's valid. But I want to be Jumanjied into the world of wacky races.
I knew you were going to pick that.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to be in the world of wacky races? But I would want to be like my own character.
Okay.
Basically,
I was about to say, would you be a character or you
exactly?
Yourself?
I'd love to go in there and sort of build my own car and then sort of be racing along and get a nice 1-2 finish with Miss Penelope underneath me. And hey,
this is a family show, right, Jason?
I'm very picky with which words I am using here. But and then having to go the whole race, watching Dick Dastardly set up some amazing trap and it fail miserably
to try and catch you,
to try and catch me, and and just get to know the Slag Brothers, and I don't even know what they're called now. I think they're the Slate Brothers now,
I don't know,
I believe. But anyway, I just always liked the premise around wacky races when I watched it as a kid, and obviously when they released the board game, I had to get it. It's a bit of a rubbish board game, if I'm being completely honest.
But the world itself is pretty wacky.
But I like the world. It's very wacky. But the game itself, it brings a lot of nostalgia back to me. The miniatures I actually got professionally painted. I paid a lot of money for it. I used that game as a demonstration piece when we were promoting our club at game conventions.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they always draw a nice bit of attention. And like I said, I'd like to be Jumanjied into that game, but mainly because it's based on the world that they created with wacky races. I'm not so sure I would put it on there if it included the latest incantation of wacky races where they essentially live in the Big Brother house together.
Okay.
Not so sure I'd enjoy that so much, but I like the idea of wacky races. It's great fun. I would be at home causing pain and misery to other racers.
So you'd be Dick Dastardly.
See, I think I'd up him. I think in a world like that, Dick Dastardly would have a picture of me on his wall.
So you said you want to be your own character in this. So obviously all the races have a theme to them.
Oh,
one's a group of gangsters, one's cavemen, such and such, whatnot. So what would you be?
Oh,
would you be like that guy in Mad Max with the flaming guitar?
I probably would. I probably would. So, something like that, or like a flaming meeple. On the back, or, obviously heavy metal would be involved.
I was going to say heavy metal sort of thing.
You know what I mean? Like, heavy metal, but have like meeples on my spoiler. Just have like meeple shapes along the spoiler.
And then your car can drop meeples at the back, so pop their tyres or something.
Scatter in the meeples.
I love how Jason has immediately created a hybrid between wacky races and Mad Men.
There you go.
The world's not ready for him.
Or wacky races.
So there you go. I mean, look at how much fun we just had. Describing me arriving in the Wacky Races universe. So there you go. That is why Wacky Races is my
interesting pick, sir.
Are you ready for your number 4?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Back to Jammers.
So my number 4 is Flamecraft.
Damn.
Okay. Fair enough.
We missed out on two.
Flamecraft.
We missed out on 2, Jason. We
Yeah.
might get 3 in this.
Yeah. I've completely actually forgot Flamecraft. So yeah, fair enough, James. Go for it. Why Flamecraft?
Flamecraft, I mean, it's just that kind of board. I mean, being Jumanjied into Flamecraft, it's basically a fantasy high street, isn't it?
It is.
You could go there for essentially for a coffee.
Yep.
And there'd be dragons all over the place.
Serving you.
Exactly. So it's just
Free.
that's a world I'd want to walk around.
Yeah. I mean, we're obviously talking about very small dragons here.
Yeah.
We've never known really what happens when they get big.
This is true.
So, do they get
Maybe
they become like
dragons.
teenage dragons and then immediately quit their job and then go on to become adult dragons, at which point they terrorize the town because they're proper dragons.
But they're so cute and cuddly.
I don't think it's
I think
that
we're missing some vital information here about the Flamecraft universe.
Yeah. No, they are miniature dragons.
Yeah, they stay as that.
Yeah.
Don't ruin this for him, Jason. Let him have it. So why Flamecraft? Because of the
It's just that one is more like the world of Flamecraft, rather than literally being.
Would you stick with the Japanese anime theme to it and whatnot?
It's
Yeah,
just that's just you could just spend an afternoon just shopping, basically.
Hmm.
It's far more interesting than the town I live in, anyway.
Am I the only one picturing James in Japanese art style here?
Oh yeah. Would you be like
With
yourself?
those massive eyes.
I was gonna say, if you're going into that world, then yeah, presumably you become the art
Japanese
style.
James.
Japanese James.
Nice.
I bet he'd spend most of his time in the little park in the middle.
I mean, I'd say. I'm sorry, I'm going to heavily insult him now. I'd imagine Japanese Jason, but just picture Cartman from the Fun Time with Weapons episode.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
I mean, Japanese James is doable. I mean, Tom Vassell did it at the end of the day. Done it with him. They made him
That's very
Japanese.
true. Yeah,
So,
yeah. So the real question is, James, because obviously you've got to go to this place. What shop do you think you would end up working in or running?
oh
the weed one.
no, I was thinking the tavern.
Yeah.
Get out of it.
I can't imagine James as a Japanese bartender. I must be.
Oh, the dragon does the work. I mean,
This is true. Yeah,
He just owns the shop, Jason.
So what you're saying, James, is you're liking the idea of this lovely fantasy universe where dragons are slaves.
It's not look good on you, James.
we don't use that term, Jason. They are
Workers without benefits.
just because they're not paid in money.
You feed them,
They're
right?
paid in love.
One of the. I'm trying to think which one the tavern is now. Is that the one that you're going to be feeding anvils to?
It depends on the dragon, isn't it?
It does,
They all
yeah,
get
yeah.
random dragons on them.
Yeah, but no, I think that's a pretty good one. The world that they created with Flamecraft is pretty damn swish. So I
good pick, mate.
I think that's a good pick. That's a very, very good pick. Anthony.
Damn it, I never thought of Flamecraft. Anyway, my number 4, Hero Quest.
Yeah.
So obviously going
Let me
back.
guess, you're going to be the barbarian.
No, so
Oh.
obviously going back to where we talked about our top 5 board games as kids, that was my number 1, and it was because of the artwork that was on the front of the box. I always wanted to be the mage
Nice.
because there's the picture of him. He's literally holding back an orc, but then his other hand, he's if you can tell, he's using a spell on another orc far away. It's so frigging cool. And I was just ever since I always wanted to be Jumanjied into, even if I know it's a dungeon crawl and I could potentially possibly die in it, but I've always wanted to be. I have a thing with 80s fantasy and magicians and magic and D&D back then, so definitely Hero Quest would be right up my alley to do that. Take down orcs and skeletons and find treasures. Come on, how cool would that be, right?
It would be. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest. I hold my hands up here. I completely forgot that I could do something like Hero Quest.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That would have been on my list.
Would it really?
It would 100% have been on my list.
Would the broadsword come out?
Oh, the broadsword.
Who would you be then if you could be in it?
I mean, I don't think I'd be too different to my real life. So obviously the dwarf.
Well, I was going to say, come on, James, he's got to be the dwarf, right?
Big beard, mohawk.
Mohawk, yeah, of course. There's always the mohawk.
Short as anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm officially not a dwarf.
Yeah.
By all the rules and whatever says that you're a dwarf in real life.
I think we're taller than him, aren't we, James?
But you are both taller than me.
So technically, he is a dwarf to us.
But I think it's the most suited for me.
Yeah.
Angry, short,
Makes
big
sense, mate.
beard.
and loves beer.
Quite often a large belly and enjoys the alcoholic beverage. So,
but yeah, nothing really more I can say to it. We spoke about it so many times, so I don't want to go into it too much.
Nah, that's fair
Hero
enough.
Quest number 4, mate.
yeah, and everyone owns a broadsword. I think that's the fairness of it.
Apart from the mage.
Apart from the mage, yeah. Mage doesn't deserve it. Awful character.
How dare you, sir?
Okay, so I'm going totally original with my number 4.
Okay.
Right? I'm going for Flamecraft.
Oh, no way. Is it really?
It is genuinely.
Wow.
It's there. It's
It
on my
is.
list.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah, copy and paste everything James just said. Easy, done. Let's move on.
Okay.
So,
Come
do
on,
you know
why?
what?
You've got to have
The main reason is genuinely everything that James said about it. But the other reason is it's kind of like Pokemon, right?
The art style definitely
You know,
is. Yeah.
you've got that sort of art style, but the whole premise of it's animals and humans living side by side and working together.
True.
You know-
you did say Pokemon was one of your favourites back in the day.
And you think about like Pokemon, you go to like a Poke Center, for example, and there's a Chansey working in there doing the actual healing of the Pokemon. And it's just like, well, it's kind of the same with Flamecraft. You know, I'm going in here, I'm going in to buy my coffee, and I'm being served by bread or whatever the dragon is called. You know, Violet Bread or, you know, Rage Dragon person. I've forgotten all the names. My bad. But it's just that kind of cool thing. It's like, I'd love to go into like a coffee shop and there'd be like a little mini dragon like making me an espresso.
Would that not freak you out?
No.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
I mean, you're never going to complain that your food's too cold, are you?
True.
Because you just
True.
come along and breathe on it.
Well, that's like, I mean, I think it's even in the art style of the actual coffee shop. It's like, well, they're breathing fire on the coffee, they're roasting the coffee bean.
True.
How much more personal can you be?
Char grilled your steak.
That is service right there. It's like, well, the steak isn't quite good enough. Can they just have like 10
I
seconds?
asked for well done.
Yes, well done. I want exactly 10 seconds more.
I guess that is pretty cool.
You know, I love the idea of that. I do. And, you know, I loved Pokemon as a kid, and that's kind of like the board game equivalent of Pokemon. Yeah, without picking some really obscure Pokemon game that's just themed to be Pokemon. So I really like the world that they created with Flamecraft. And just generally that sort of art styling that company is now known for, because they've obviously done some spin-offs with the same art style, and they're saying it's like basically in the same world. So I think there's more to come, really, from that entire world, but I just like what they did with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, owning a pet dragon, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And never really thought of it like that, but yeah, good pick, sir.
Yeah,
Like I said,
I'm all in on that. All in on that.
nice.
All right, let's go to the number 3s.
I love how confident you are that you pressed the right button then.
Yeah, I think I've got it right now. I've got it down to a T.
Got it, James.
Okay, so my number 3 is Heat, Pedal to the Metal.
God damn it. And he mentioned this one as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I think the reason is self-explanatory. It's like we've all wanted to be a racing driver at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you're going risky with where that, you know, the era that's based. It's like, yeah, I want to be a racing driver, but I'd rather know that the car isn't going to, like, burst into a ball of flames when I turn it on.
That's what made it exciting.
Or overheat.
Or overheat, yeah, as in all of our games. Backwards, round a corner, on fire. Yeah. Why Heat, James? Other than you want to be a race driver?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's the only racing game I've played, which is why I picked it. But it's, I mean, I suppose if we take it through the lens of, with this one, is like you're in the car, there's no mechanics in there for it to burst into flames. The worst that happens is you spin off and end up respawning on a corner.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're looking at it at the lens of you're actually in the game, it's like this one's probably the safest one.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. See, now I have an interesting question, really, when you say this. It's like, yes, everyone does want to be a racing car driver, but I personally would have chosen Downforce over it purely because you get the thrill of being a racing car driver, but you can deliberately not win the race and bet on others to gain more money. So surely, like,
No, I'm just.
But it's all about first place with James. He wants to be the racer.
I want to be the. I mean, I like Downforce, but to me, it's not a racing game; it's a betting game. It's whereas
100%.
Heat is a pure racing game.
yeah, no, fair enough. You didn't want to do a bit of Flamme Rouge then and be on a bicycle instead, then?
No,
No, oh, okay. Could be electrically assisted.
I'm getting a stitch thinking about it.
There's nothing wrong with riding bikes. I do it quite regularly now. Granted, it is electric, so it does most of the work for me, but still.
So it's purely for the racing aspect of
Yeah,
it,
the racing.
and being the racer.
Yeah, the racing aspect. I mean, if you're inside the game and you start throwing the modules in, you can even build your own car.
Mm-hmm.
True. But then I suppose you're not a driver then, are you? Then you're the mechanic.
Yeah, but
So what you're saying is you want to be Jumanjied into the game as a team rather than the driver.
well, I don't know, because it's like, I suppose if you're Jumanjied into it, like we said, as the actual player, it would be like building a car from parts on a screen, wouldn't it? I want that body, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and then you appear on the starting line in your car.
Yeah. So if you were Jumanjied in,
Very video game-esque.
yeah. If you were Jumanjied in,
Yep.
which track would you appear at?
I mean, it'd have to be Britain, wouldn't it?
I think so. I think I would have to. I sort of think to myself, I'd love to be Jumanjied into one of the hot ones, but you kind of want your first race to be on a track that's actually pretty good. So,
Question: would you be Jumanjied into the Heavy Rain edition of it?
No.
No, I don't like the rain.
I live in...
I'm leaving back behind a world that's constantly full of rain, and I'm going to somewhere that has rain.
Rain. Not in this game, it doesn't.
It's like someone moving from Wales to Scotland. Yes, we're getting away from the rain.
Come
we're
on,
going to an
lads.
even rainier place. Oh, marvellous. Carl James, any other things you want to tell us about Heat and why you want to live there? And why you would lose every race?
I would lose every race, let's be honest, but
Where's
It's the experience to drive back in that era as well, so that'd be pretty cool.
So I reckon one of the first things James would do when he arrives in the world of Heat,
spin out.
He'd probably spin out, but then once he'd sorted it out, he's done his first race. He goes, "There's definitely things that need to be done here to make this world a better place. We've got the pit lane. Where is the smoking lane? I want to pull into the smoking lane so I can get out and have a cigarette mid-race."
Jason, have you not seen the racing drivers of that era? They'd have their visor popped open and be smoking while they were driving around.
As I say, they're
the track.
practically smoking whilst driving, dude.
It's true. Yeah,
I mean,
very true.
this is... I think it's either just before or around the same time as like the era that
James Hunt.
Yeah, James Hunt. That it's like neck some champagne in the pit lane, light up a cigarette inside your highly flammable race car, and drive off.
Yeah. So just think you'd have to go up against Mr. Hunt and I've completely forgotten Nicky Lauda.
Nicky Lauda.
There you go. So
I'd demolish them both.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Now, have faith, James. Come on. This is
Have faith.
You're Jumanjied into this world. It's all you.
Yeah.
You got this, mate.
Yeah. That's a pretty good choice. I like it.
Nice. Good pick, mate.
I didn't think you'd choose that.
I didn't think you picked that either, honestly. Yeah. So we're 3 for 3.
I was going to say you're
the
not
right ones yet.
You're not. Your prospect of hog roast is evaporating, my friend.
I'm actually
So far, both of us have none.
I'm not liking the fact that I'm actually going to have to pay some money to eat while I'm there now. I was planning on James feeding me for the
All
entire
expenses
time.
paid by James, all right?
Yeah. Damn it. Oh, well. Or maybe I should bet on Anthony instead. Right.
if you
Anthony,
want.
what is your number 3, sir?
My number 3 is one of my favourite games of all time. It's in my top 5 games of all time. It is the Champions of Midgard.
Ooh. Okay.
Anyone who doesn't know what this game is, it is a worker placement game to do with Vikings. Pretty much going into that world and having to mingle with the town, defeat trolls. Otherwise, blame will go all over the town. But as well as you have to build your own boats, you have to you have to go hunting for food, try and harvest wood, make money, and then all of this to travel overseas to, attack monsters for the glory, or you can travel up to the Dark Mountains if you have expansions to tackle monsters up there. I mean, how freaking cool is that? I've been a fan of Vikings since one of my first schools ever, and then we obviously in school you learn about Vikings, and I was just so fascinated by them at the time. And this board game really brings the experience of being a Viking like that. And very much like Western Legends, it's essentially that, but with Vikings, really. You can pretty much do anything, and it's just really fascinating, mate. And I would love to be Jumanjied into that world and just live as a Viking for once. And
I'm not gonna lie, that would be really cool. I mean, my takeaway from that game though is I'd be Jumanjied in, and you know, I'd be in my element. You know, having all these men, training all these men, shoving them on boats and sending them off to their death.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's brilliant. I'll stay on the land.
And they'd follow you. That's the thing.
Oh no, they wouldn't follow me. They'd follow me to the boat, and then I'd shake their hands,
And then you put them on the boat.
and then I'd put them on the boat.
I think I'm kind of like the fascination of the whole Monster Slayer thing. I love that.
yeah.
I think it's like with video games, when you come to monster hunting, I just friggin' love it. And this is why I had to put it on the list.
Nice.
I reckon I'd love to be in a well.
Jason would be less Viking and more Lord Farquaad.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Some of you may die,
But it's a
But it's a
sacrifice
sacrifice
I am
I'm willing to
Jason's willing to make.
Definitely.
So yeah, can't deny Champions of Midgard had to go on that list, mate.
Yeah, again, it's another game I'd completely forgotten about, and again, for anybody that don't, in fact, I don't even think you guys know this. I'm quite. I like the idea of Vikings, and I love a lot of things about Vikings, and I'm actually growing my hair out to be able to have a Viking plait
Oh, okay.
all the way down. I've obviously started wearing the Viking style beads and stuff in my beard. I'm a long way away from being able to have the proper sort of Mohican style plait that they have, but you know that is actually the ultimate game.
Yeah,
the end game for me. So I really like the whole Viking thing.
aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
I love the aesthetic, and I'm fascinated with them.
Yeah.
You know, and just sort of like, how the hell did they really die out? You know what I mean? It's like these were a really amazing race of human beings, and that game and the setting that it portrays is really good.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd love to know, like, if you were to do that, go into that world, do you feel like the whole worker placement aspect would still be a thing?
I think the idea of it, like obviously when you have to go hunting for the meat and stuff to feed your guys and whatnot would be, but I don't think anything else would, because it's literally go there, recruit a guy, go there and make money. It's like, well, how would I make the money? I don't go there and just take it, do I? So
you're a Viking.
I don't
That's
know,
exactly what you do.
Yeah, true.
Being Jumanjied into a worker placement game almost feels like rather because the player is positioning the pieces
piece,
from on high. So you would be
Son, go over there and hire me that man.
I don't know what the Viking equivalent of mayor is, but you're the chief. You be the chief.
Yeah.
You go chop some wood. You go do that. You're the guy giving the instructions.
Yeah. No, that would be kind of cool, to be fair. It would be really cool with your castle made of wood.
Of course, yeah.
Or would you be a more modern Viking and have a nice stone castle?
Well, yeah. I mean, there are monsters in this town, so I don't want a wolf coming in and huffing and puffing my castle down. So it would have to be stone, brick, or whatever they could do.
Nice. It sort of reminds me of like the after the Empire that we played that time, James, where you're building your castle.
Every time I built a wall, someone knocked it down.
For God's sake.
Will you stop?
Yeah. Great. Absolutely great. Want to
Build
play
that
that
wall.
again, man. I think you'll enjoy that game, actually.
Yeah.
We need to play. I'll get hold of that copy, and we'll get that played. Very, very good game. Anything else you want to say about it? No?
That's it, mate.
Good choice, sir. Very good choice. I am coming in with a game that I'm not 100% sure won't be on your list, Anthony, but I could be wrong. But something, again, I've always loved and admired, yet I'm far too lazy to indulge in, is things like adventure and, you know, going and seeing all these beautiful places within the world and, you know, trying to explore like ancient temples and stuff like that. And, you know, much the same as the film franchise that it is very, very clearly based off of, I would like to be Jumanjied into the Lost Ruins.
Nice choice, sir. Well done. Nice pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I mean, what a game, man.
Yep.
What a game. Obviously, I ain't going to go fighting no
Guardians.
No Guardians, nothing like that. I want to be in the
just
world.
to explore.
I'm happy to be there just as an explorer, you know, going up the right-hand track.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Nice one.
I haven't thought about this at all, obviously. But yeah, I would still...
So you're the temple explorer, not the actual land explorer.
I am the temple explorer.
Okay.
That is I mean, don't get me wrong, I might sort of venture out a little bit because, you know, I like...
I
might do this. There's some gems and stuff that look pretty nice.
Once the coast is clear, basically.
You know,
someone else deals with it.
Exactly. Watch the, you know, the the non-player characters deal with everything for
Yeah.
me so that I can then just come along and reap the benefits, much like my own life. That is a joke, but yeah, I mean, how cool would it be
Yeah,
to be
come
in
on,
that
man.
universe, man? It's beautiful.
Such a great pick.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful, even what you see on the board, it's beautifully portrayed.
Mm.
It's Indiana Jones, the board
It
game,
is.
isn't
Yeah,
it? Let's
absolutely.
be honest.
Yeah.
But, I think I'd agree with that 100%. What a world to be transported
100%.
into.
100%. I mean, yeah, I could have said, because we've played, obviously, actual Indiana Jones games.
Yes,
but,
we did, yeah.
and I was like, that feel like a bit of a cheat to me.
Yes.
Purely because it's like, I'm not actually trying to go into the world of the game. I want to go into the world of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Whereas this is its own standalone world that they have created. Obviously, heavily influenced. We get that.
Of course, yeah.
But it's very clearly its own thing. You add in the expansion stuff, which still qualifies because it's in that world.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot more to it. The Guardians are scary as hell, and they will probably kill me one day. But do you know what? I would love to be there. Robin Williams in it up.
So obviously you can explore certain places by certain ways, i.e. walk in, car, boat, or plane.
Mm-hmm.
How would you do it?
Well, I mean, the laziest option is obviously plane.
Of course.
And I can actually fly a plane. So
yes, it's true.
So that will be an
makes
instant
sense.
win for me. But that obviously, if I'm Jumanjied into the game, I'm not going to forget that. So
No.
I was like, okay, where's the nearest airport? Oh, it's a bit far. Well, I'll walk there. Or car, because just punch someone, nick the car.
But you have to have the Indiana Jones
GTA
punch
in there.
effect.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, there you go. It's my Jumanjied in. I'm getting spawned with a whip. I want a whip.
You have to.
When I turn, I want a whip, a magnifying glass, and a book.
Absolutely.
That's me sorted. I can research. Yeah, I can.
Never mind food, water, or anything like that at all, James.
I'm absolutely fine with a whip, a magnifying glass, and a book.
Yes, but with those things, I will survive.
But Jason, you can't read.
But I have a magnifying glass. And anyone
Makes
who
him look
has
like he reads.
anyone who has a magnifying glass will tell you that they can instantly read when you use a magnifying glass. And that is the end of that
I
discussion.
don't think I've ever heard that, but
No, I don't.
There was a wise man once said it.
okay.
Yeah.
What's
We'll
this
take that, Jason.
Yeah. What's this letter? I don't know. Try now. I don't know, but bigger.
Exactly.
Nice pick, sir. Very good pick.
I really like the idea of being
Yeah.
in that world. So there you go. Lost Runes of Arnak.
Nice.
Number 2, sir.
My number 2 is a Starship Captain.
Yes!
Yes, we got one. We got one.
We got it.
Right, so I want extra crackling with my.
Plenty of applesauce. Right.
Why Starship Captain, sir?
Okay, so I have been a Star Trek fan, which this board game is clearly heavily influenced by since I was about 5.
Okay.
So, again, there are Star Trek themed board games, but that feels like a bit of a cheat to sort of immediately go, I want to be taken into that. I've tried, like you, I've tried to stay away sort of from the franchise-based ones.
Yeah.
But it's very similar, and it's like, just being in a spaceship exploring the galaxy. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Would you be the actual captain though?
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
He wouldn't be an ensign.
We never know. It could be a red jersey. Who knows?
No, he wouldn't pull that off. He'd be sacked.
Would you have your golden robot as well?
I don't know. They get left behind. I always feel a bit mean about that. It's like, do you get teleported down? You got a transporter. You get transported down to the planet. We could bring the robot back, the sentient robot that has feelings.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't fit in the track.
So are you just a fan of the whole exploration part, or would you still like to shoot down the pirates and all that sort of stuff as well?
I mean, it's a spaceship game. There's got to be a bit of pew-pew. But I mean, I don't know. That's an aspect.
You need to edit laser sounds on that. That's fantastic.
But whenever I play that game, I actually avoid that mechanic.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah.
Mainly because that jump drive always seems to come out for me, and I'm like, mine.
Yeah.
So would you be someone that takes on the space pirates, or would you not bother at all?
I'd probably be the person helping the space pirates, because that's one of the tracks. Like, it's seems like these are people I don't want to anger.
Yeah. They could cause problems for me. I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
I will say, like, talking about like leaving the old robots on the thing, is like there seems like a really bad design flaw within their spaceships. That the exit to the spaceship is nice and large, yet to re-embark onto the ship is a very narrow corridor. That seems like a real design flaw. I mean, I'm guessing one of your first things will be to actually build a new spaceship and enlarge.
Oi, grey shirt, widen this corridor because this is. It's just straight. It's like these are supposed to be robots, like I said, that are sentient, and we just discard them.
It's how you tell that the majority of the people on that starship are human.
Yeah,
they were the most human.
See now, while I am not a Star Trek fan, I am a fanatic Orville fan, so I can definitely see where you're coming from this, because to me it would be like being on the Orville. And yeah, I would be all in for that. So spoiler, it's not on my list, mainly because I knew it would be on yours.
Yeah.
So I've gone down a different road. But yeah, really, really good choice. I think we would all be really good on a spaceship.
Oh yeah.
How quickly would the games room be built?
Sorry, we're busy playing games. You deal with those space pirates.
Yeah. What is this engine core? We don't need that. Get rid of
that. We don't need that.
Knock on the head.
Don't need that. Well, the med bay, nah. Unimportant. Get rid of it. No, you need it to be quite close to the they don't call it teleportation, do they? The thing where they can beam people up and
transporter.
The transport. You need to be close to that so that it's like, it's time. It's game night. Well, everyone's down on the planet.
No, there we go. I mean, you could be really dastardly with that. I was like, I don't have that game in my collection. I do now.
Yeah, it's true.
Fly over the local game store. Thank you.
Yoink.
Living the life truly as a pirate.
Yeah.
That's what they do in the game. They're board game pirates. That's what they are.
Infantry in that poor shop. I'd be like, I swear we had 4 of these.
Yeah, ever since that starship has been flying overhead, we seem to be losing games.
We borrow them.
Yeah. This one's rubbish. Have it back.
I don't like that.
So beam it up. Oh my God, it's terraforming Mars. Chuck it back.
Yeah.
Oh, the hatred. Can you feel that hatred coming through?
There's so many comments now, Jason.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like we seem to have gamed a rubbish board game and a gold robot.
See, that's the other thing. They've got one of them on there, so he might not be able to walk back on the ship. Why can't they beam him up? Humans, mate. Disgusting creatures. Disgusting. Those things are awesome. They're worth 1 point apiece. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other reason you want to be in this?
Apart from stealing games.
Stealing.
Flying over random game stores, like borrowing games. We don't steal. We give them back once we've played them.
We lie, we cheat, we steal.
All right, Eddie.
Yeah. So yeah, any other final comments about why you want to be in Starship?
I think I've covered everything.
It's pretty much covered there.
Yeah.
I would request a spaceport. Would be good. Somewhere good so you can space bar.
That's the thing in the middle, isn't it?
I mean, it never says that.
There's a bar.
I think if you land on there, your next 3 turns should have to be like one thing shorter because you're too drunk to fly.
I mean, if I'm going on the franchise it's so based off, there's a bar on my ship, or if there isn't, there will be.
Oh, of course, yeah. Synthesizers, right? Very good choice, sir.
Very, very good choice, sir.
Hansi, what is your number? I've lost track.
Number 2. My number 2. So do you remember James, he said that he didn't put it on his list because he knew you'd have it on your list?
Yep.
So mine's already taken. Lost Ruins of Arnak is my number 2.
I knew it.
Very good pick.
I knew it.
Very, very good pick. Of course, I mean, come on. We've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this before about how I used to like have board games that were like very adventure themed, like Lost Ruins of Arnak, and this one ticks all the dots and crosses all the T's, whatever.
Whatever that saying happens to be.
I said it backwards. But yeah, for me, you can't have adventure without Lost Ruins of Arnak, really, can you? No. And I just love adventure. I love adventure movies. A huge fan of indie, as well as like, I suppose it's got like essence of like the Mummy movies in that as well, without the mummies, if you will. Yeah. I mean, you got the Guardians, which are monsters and stuff, but not mummies.
Yeah, I mean, the good Mummy movies, not the Tom Cruise.
Oh, no. Not that travesty movie, no. But no, I can't really say an awful lot else about it. You've pretty much nailed it on your number 3. Good pick, sir.
Yeah.
And Lost Rings of Iron.
I'm not going to lie, it was very nearly slightly higher. I just think that my number 2 and number 1, they're far more chaotic.
Yeah.
And far more to my style.
Nice.
Although, as I'm about to explain with my number 2, this one is I'm definitely going into the world because I think it's a nice chaotic mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it holds a nice amount of similarity to our current world and the conspiracy theories that I have within this current world. Because my number 2 is actually Root.
Oh, okay.
So I would love to go into that world. And, as I talk about the conspiracy theories I have in real life, I think that animals are not as stupid as they sometimes appear. I think they all talk. I think they are plotting to kill us all. And the world of Root is closer to home than we think.
The world of Root is come back.
Exactly. Right now, there's like 5 cats in my back garden. I guarantee it, planning our demise.
Oh, they've been doing that. Yeah, they were 3,000 years ago. They were worshipped as gods by the Egyptians, and they have never forgotten this.
Exactly. And there's birds out there that are killing each other because they're failing their decree. There's cats out there that are evil.
I really want to just walk past a tree and see a couple of magpies deposing.
I kid you not, a cat has literally just walked past that window once you said that as well. That's freaky.
They can hear it. They can hear it. It's real life.
The immediate question is, what faction would you...
Yes, I was about to ask that.
I'm going to say, right...
Shifty cats.
That I'm coming into this world kind of as myself, as opposed to going into a faction. But if I had to be, I'm going to guess I'm going to be more of the vagabond, purely because I'm going to hide in the bushes and not get involved and just watch the carnage.
Yeah, Lone Ranger.
You know what I mean? Like Joker. I'm just going to sit back and watch the fireworks as I've
watched the chaos.
Exactly. I've come along. I've gone up to the birds and gone, those cats, mate.
Yeah, he's essentially the instigator, isn't he?
So what we've taken from this is that Jason would be the fat trash panda.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I would.
So he started off as a fat dwarf. Now he's a fat panda.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of
It's a raccoon.
Yeah.
Raccoon.
The shifty raccoon.
Thing is, I could see him do that. You never guess what those cats were saying about those falcons.
Yeah. And while I'm here, can I have a cup of tea?
Yeah.
And then run off, and then go off to obviously the green bread, the woodland terrorists. Those birds, mate. God damn it! Can I have a pair of shoes?
So would you keep the same art style, animated look of it? If you went in it,
I love that whole sort of art style, but I sort of, do you know what? I get an even more immersive thing of this because I have the Root PC game as well,
nice.
which is all very animated.
Yeah.
So you get those sort of 3D movements. It's like, do you know what? I'd love this. I'd love to be in this world. And like you said, if I had to pick a side, I'd be a vagabond because, I'm going to come in, I'm going to poke the fire, and I'm going to get out. Yeah. And just watch. I'll watch you. Either that, or I could go, I can't remember the name of the expansion army, but I would be that sort of, I think it's like the Underground Duchy or something where I'm coming in and I can do that for you. It's going to cost you. Yeah. It's going to cost you. Or the people that, on the map that you cross the river, the river folk. You can cross the river as a shortcut.
But it'll cost you.
It's going to cost you. I'll be kind of wheeling and dealing, or inciting a riot.
He'll be the Root Del Boy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll be. But yeah, I'd love being a Root. I just think it's,
it's an interesting world. So I think that's a good pick.
So yeah.
Very, very good.
What we've learned from this is I would genuinely would cause carnage in the world of Root. However, the real takeaway from this is if you go down in the woods today, you are definitely sure of a surprise because you will find
Jason there.
You will find me.
A human!
But more importantly, you will find a army of cats having it out with an army of birds who then start killing themselves randomly because they disagreed with each other. And one cat moved 1 foot over to the other side, so the bird missed. So
we were saying at the beginning of your pick how a cat's walked past this. I swear I would have walked past Hillgate Forest tomorrow. That castle wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's obviously the weird side of that. It's like, hang on a minute, you can build these castles pretty damn quickly. I mean, there's only one pussy in this square, so how have they built this entire mansion? And I may have just broken Ant, which is it.
I just didn't see them coming.
Walking that line today.
Yeah, you are. That's
Walking
twice
that
you've done
line.
that now.
Oh, yeah. I love playing on words. But yes, there you go. That's my number 2. The World of Root.
Nice
I
pick,
would
mate.
love it.
Very good
I
pick.
would love it. Let's move on to our number 1s. We the ones.
The ones.
With the bloodline.
We're the bloodline. All the non-wrestling fans, they're not going to have a clue what we're
Yeah,
just talking
no.
about. No, we're the ones. We're all holding our ones up. Right, James, your number 1 pick for
Okay, so my number 1, this was actually the hardest one for me to pick.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah?
it's the only one on my list that's IP based.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
We got what? We got 1.
you got 1 out of 5. That was
1 out of
Yeah,
5.
I'm disappointed in you both. Yeah, it's the only one on my list that's IP based, and it came down to a choice of 2.
Oh, that's cheating.
And it wasn't until I walked through the front door that I actually finalised on which ones I was going to pick, because these were both really big parts of my childhood growing
Okay.
up.
Before he says this, he's just admitted that he changed it after he arrived.
I changed mine
and
last minute
knew
as well.
that we'd picked. So he's deliberately chosen this because he knew we didn't pick it.
No, it was
Go
between 2 games, both IP based, and it was at the last minute I decided, and it's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid.
Yeah. Nice. James, why are you choosing Angel Grove?
Because, who doesn't want to be a Power Ranger? And this is definitely one where it's like, no, I'm being a character.
Okay. Oh, come on then. Who are you going to be? Rita Repulsa?
No, Lord Zed, come on.
Okay.
Alpha.
Alpha. No, Green Ranger all the way.
Oh,
Of course.
Okay.
Makes
Fair enough. I'll let you off. I share 2 names with him, but, exactly the same initials. I qualify for that more. But, whatever.
Hey, it's me that's getting Jumanjied in. You go play with your woodland folk.
Yeah, all right, I will. So come on, why the world of Power Rangers?
Okay, I grew up on the world of Power Rangers. It's like being a late 80s, born in the late 80s, every day getting home from, or every week, I think it was on a Friday, getting home from running home to watch the episode that had been taped, because for some obscure reason it went on at 9 o'clock in the morning when we were all at school.
Yeah, and the kids that were too young to watch it were at home.
Yeah. And it was just like running at everyone. I had the sticker albums. I still have somewhere all the toys, the swords. It's just like
It was so huge when it came out, wasn't it? Yeah.
Part of my childhood. So it's like, yeah, that's a world that I want to be
Nice.
Jumanjied into. For reference, the one that I was toying with again was Thunderbirds.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Almost my number 1 again, because it was a massive part of my childhood.
Do you think you could pull off being a puppet though?
A puppet.
And can you do the proper?
Which
jangly
Thunderbird
ball?
would you be?
Oh, Thunderbird 2.
So yeah, Virgil, yeah. Nice.
See, I'm clever. I'd be the boss.
You'd be the
I don't have to go on the dangerous missions.
no.
I tell you all what to
That's
do.
all the exciting thing, because
So he'd be the dad.
yeah,
Tracy.
the Thunderbirds always come out on top, so it's like there's no danger. It's like
Joe, I what I would love to have is I'd love to be Jumanjied into Thunderbirds first, and then James immediately got Jumanjied in. I'd immediately send him up to Thunderbird 5.
Punishment.
Get out of my face. Just go.
So in other words, if you won a board game against Jason, then he'd send you up. You don't have a chance, do you?
yeah,
mate?
go sit on the space station for.
Yeah.
But no, that wasn't my pick. It's Power Rangers was my pick, and it's like I'm driving the Dragon's Order, and I'd probably do more damage to Angel Grove than the villain did.
Yeah,
But it's like I don't care. I've got a Dragon Sword.
So now I will come in and say, right, it's not my number 1. It is on my honourable mentions because it was way too predictable. I was always going to do that. However, I would not go in as the Green Ranger, which would shock a lot of people. I would blatantly go in as Bulk. Because he's the best character. I'm sorry, but he's awesome. And he becomes a Power Ranger eventually. Why wouldn't you be Bulk? I'd have my little psychic skull, which I did immediately rename James.
So we've got a fat dwarf, a fat raccoon, and a fat Power
pony.
Ranger. I think he's trying to tell us something here, James.
Yep. There's method to my madness. But yeah, really, really good. Like I said, the only reason I didn't choose it is way too
Total shocker, mate, but nice pick. Very nice pick.
Very nice.
1 out of 5, guys. I'm disappointed in both of you.
That's all right. I'm still getting something free out of James.
You're getting a hog roast, so
I'm getting a hog roast.
Not 5.
Not 5. Oh, well. Anthony, your number 1, sir.
My number 1 is so obvious. Whoever knows me, I'm practically wearing the t-shirt. I've got the tattoo.
Oh.
My number 1's a Dinosaur World.
Okay. Interesting.
Dinosaur World is the sequel to Dinosaur Island. If anyone doesn't know what about it, it's a board game about building your own dinosaur park, Jurassic Park, essentially. I want to be in this because I would like to be like the Richard Hammond of this.
Yeah,
I want to be the guy that gets to design, build, and actually make the dinosaurs as well at the same time, which you can do in this game completely as well. Obviously, there is the issue that security might not suffice the dinosaurs, and we might get visitors eaten. But hey, that's where the Jeeple comes into it, and we can get those guys to come and rescue some of the guests there and whatnot.
You've just summed up why I'm terrible at that game. I thought the idea was to get them eaten.
No, well, you can if you want. But
damn it.
But no, I love the design of this game. And I love how you can't have specific things next to one another. Like you can't have 2 dinosaurs one to one another, for example. So I would go with those rules as well. Yeah. Once I'm in the game, the different types of dinosaurs you can have. I would like to have it with the expansions as well. So you've got the aquatic ones, you've got the ice dinosaurs as well, whatnot. Yeah. So yeah, I just think it would be like, in real life, like an amazing experience, and to be like, come, this is my park, come see what I've built,
Yeah.
And that's probably why I would have to put it at number 1.
Okay.
It's very hard to say. Lost Ruins Maniac was number 1, but I thought about Dinosaur Worlds, and I just think it's more up my alley because I'm such a huge Jurassic Park fan, so that's why I had to pick that.
I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, which is why you couldn't pay me for love nor money to set foot in your park.
That's fine. That's fine.
The immediate question I have is obviously, again, it's another spoiler. I'm giving away all these spoilers. Number 1 for me, was blatantly obvious that it was going to be Dinogenics.
Right.
Again, so much the same as Power Rangers. They were 2 games that were pretty obvious, so I've deliberately avoided them.
Right.
So I'll bring up about Dinogenics because that would be the game that I would go for as opposed to the Dinosaur Island or World.
Yeah.
So what's your reason for choosing them over, say, Dinogenics, which is arguably far more like Jurassic
they're very
Park?
alike, but I just think I think it's the color effect of those ones, especially Dinosaur World. I mean, Dinosaur Island is very pink and very blues, very luminous colours.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-on question.
Yeah.
Is like, would you keep the palette?
No, not for Dinosaur Island, but definitely for Dinosaur World. Just I love how it looks like it's been filtered to, not so bright but not so dull at the same time. And
it's a bit more upbeat than, say,
it's eye-catching. Like, even on the table, it's got an amazing presence to it. Yeah. And that's what I'd like my park to be. Bright, colourful, and it's not just, here's a dull park with dinosaurs. It's all just green. It's all just browns and whatnot. Yeah. Just something like that, because I can't remember if Dinogenics has it. Obviously, correct me if I do. But in Dinosaur Worlds, you can not just have restaurants and dinosaurs. You can actually have jet ski areas, and you can have other attractions there as well. So another reason why Dinosaur... I mean, I thought about Dinogenics a lot. Not to say I didn't put it on there because I thought you would have it, but I honestly had those 2
of course,
at it. Yeah. And I picked Dinosaur World just literally because of the art style I prefer. It's like you guys have picked with Flamecraft.
Yep.
You've clearly picked that game for that art style, so that's why I've gone with Dinosaur World.
No, it's a good reason. Yeah. To be fair, I like one thing I think that Dinosaur World definitely had over Dinogenics was obviously the Jeeples and creating that Jeep track. Yeah. I wish I had something like that in Dinogenics. Was really, really cool.
I think the cool thing why I considered Dinogenics is because you've got the mutant side of the dinosaurs to it. And I think that's a pretty interesting aspect to it because obviously you're creating, like with Dinogenics, you do it with cars, don't you? But this, you actually have DNA samples. Yes. And this would make more sense, this having it, because you're splicing DNA, aren't you?
Yeah, so I know that James always preferred that aspect of
I definitely preferred Dinosaur World and Dinosaur Island's way of making dinosaurs rather than just a suit of cards.
Yes,
because it felt like you were crafting a dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it actually felt like you made it because you've collected that DNA and now you've used it up.
Severe lack of foresight here, though. They missed having the Dennis Nedry effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that, randomly he would come along and steal some DNA or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, no, really, really good choice. I do like that game. We haven't played that game in so long.
About 2 years we haven't played that game.
We need to get that to the table again. I'd like to play that again.
So yeah.
Very, very good choice. Is there anything else you want to say about it other than give me some Jurassic Park, basically?
Just, give it a go if you haven't played it.
Yeah.
And had to be my number one.
Nice. They've got to be due another dinosaur game soon, haven't they? They've got to be.
Matter of time.
We know that Dinogenics has got another expansion coming.
That's true,
this year. And they always come out at the same time.
Yeah.
So I reckon under the radar somewhere.
Something will come out.
We might have another dinosaur game on the way. But very good choice. My number one. I did have to think long and hard about this one because I'm not sure it's a world I'd want to be Jumanjied into, but at the same time I'd love to be Jumanjied into it, and it's the world of Scythe.
Nice. I completely forgot about that.
Because obviously it is an incredibly dangerous place.
But it's gorgeous at the same time.
It's gorgeous, and you've got these amazing, town and city-sized mechs just plodding about all over the place. It's cool as hell. I think really when I'm thinking of being Jumanjied into Scythe, I'm not thinking I want to become a character.
No.
I'm thinking I want to come in. I just want to be in the world.
Yeah.
I'd happily adopt the life of that farmer that's on the front of the card with the giant mech in the background, doing my, living from the land, looking over and going, oh, that's really cool. Really glad it's all the way over there.
Yeah, but so basically, you want to be one of the poor sods who's on the event cards that the characters actually, where your option is usually help them, beat them up and steal their stuff, or bribe them with something.
Now, just picture it though, James, because in that world, right, I've become that person that's on the front of the card, and the whole premise, you have to describe what's on that card. You know me. Yeah, I'm going to be doing something funny that they're going to have to try and describe.
Yeah.
That's a bit of me right there. I want to be the promo card.
Yeah, but you best hope that I'm not the player's eye. Your options are to help Jason. Your options are to beat him up and steal his mech. Tempting.
Oh, see, no, I'd have that trump card. Yeah, I would be that card, that one card that no one wants to get because it's 4 options of help. It's like, no, I don't want to help him, but I'm forced to.
So you wouldn't necessarily be part of someone's faction? You're just on your own?
I would be happy just being, the guy that lives off the land on my own. I don't care. I've been there. I've done that. I've fought for these people. You can go screw yourself. Take your stupid Russian bear away. I'll live off my own land. I'll kill my own chickens and eat them. And every time
in some random faction's property that you're not
given the world of Scythe, I don't think you get an option about whether you want to be part of the faction. It's like, we're moving in, you're now part of the Rusviet Republic.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably the way, but...
Congratulations, you're being conquered. Here's a pamphlet.
Did you ever see the movie Mortal Engines?
Yes.
I kind of have that going through my mind. So I would kind of be like the lead lady in that one where she breaks into the city, steals what she needs, and then buggers the hell off.
True.
You know what I mean? That's what I would be. I'd be that sort of awesome undercover guy that's actually in control of the world, but no one knows. So, yeah.
So are you just talking the basic game, would the wing gambits be in this as well?
The whole lot. The whole lot could be in there. I just think the whole world is beautiful. Agreed, it's very dark, it's very dingy, but you know what? I like that.
It's got that steampunk aesthetic, hasn't it? So
steampunk dystopian future. I've always loved that kind of art style, and even cyberpunk and things like that. All these amazing different art styles.
Yeah, see, I was half expecting you guys to think that my number one would be the predictable one because it's the game I've spent the most time playing, which would be Warhammer. And I was like, no, I do not want to be Jumanjied into that world at all. No.
Well, this is some of the, because I would have picked some of my obvious Nemesis and stuff, but would I really want to be there? Hell no.
No.
So, but yeah, Scythe's a good pick. So, I mean, how cool would it be just to jump on a mech to help you cross a river or something like that? So badass.
It's one of the things. It seems like everyone there has their own mech. So who wouldn't? It's I don't want a car. I want a mech. That's what I.
I don't think they had cars in that game, do they?
That's what I get out of bed for in the morning. You know what I mean? I'll
He's
get
got a
out of
mech.
bed. It's like, oh, I've got to go to work. Oh, that's all right. I've got my mech. I'll be there in 3 footsteps. You know, that'd be really cool. But I've got a few honourable mentions.
I don't have any, so go for it.
We have obviously talked about a few already because they've been on your lists. So there's a couple on here that I think James will probably have as honourable mentions. So I'll try and avoid them to start with. But
I've only actually got one honourable mention, and I covered it basically while doing my number one.
okay, fair enough. Well,
I've got one as well, but yeah,
I'll go
carry
through
on.
a few of these because I think you'll actually quite like them. The first one is a game that we haven't even played yet, but I love the theme of it, which is obviously a game that's going to be turning up next year, which is Galactic Cruise.
Yeah,
I love the idea of, it's basically Wall-E,
yeah.
building a space cruise ship. That sounds awesome. And it sounds like I could make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
So I want to be the owner of that company. One that I actually own at the moment, and this is more based on the style of the game and the world, which is Hijacked. Because you've got it's not to do with the actual game itself, but the world.
You'd just be there watching them like.
I'd be happy with that, but no, you've got that sort of really nice cyberpunk style to it.
True,
with
yeah.
the neons and all that, and it's obviously based in a very cyberpunk future. I'm more interested in what's going on behind that airport.
Okay.
I don't care about the airport. They storm the plane. I don't care. Kill them all. I really don't care. I want to, I want to go home at the end of the night and know that I'm in some really bright city, with all those dark and dingy alleys that you get in those cyberpunk things.
Jason seems to be that guy who sees it, the hijack happening. He's like, this is why I'll never go on a plane.
Exactly. I wouldn't fly that airline. Every time I come
That specific one.
every time I come to this airport, it's being hijacked. Ugh. So yeah, I just love the world that Miko actually created with that, the art styling of that. Really, really cool. Age of Comics, obviously based on our real world, but it's take me back to where comics were at their golden age, because I would love to buy all of those first printings of those comics.
You'll be worth £50 million in like 50 years.
With hindsight.
There you go.
There you go. See? There. But no, I just that era was really cool. So I'd love to live there. And I've always said I was built in the wrong, I was born in the wrong era. So that would take me back to where I should have been born.
Okay.
Distilled.
Of course.
Obviously.
That's what I thought your number one was going to be.
Who doesn't want to run a distillery? Done. Ark Nova, who doesn't want to run a zoo?
Yeah.
Whether it would be an ethical zoo or a non-ethical zoo, that's open to question really with me. But yep, I'd love to run a zoo. Obviously, Power Rangers was obvious. Starship Captains, again, I mentioned it. I like Orville. That's what it would be for me. Dinogenics, obvious. Jurassic Park, would love to do it. I would happily build a lovely dinosaur theme park without putting in all those horrible fences that ruin everyone's view.
I do actually have an honourable mention. It's just occurred to me.
Go on.
Be Dice Forge. Again, for the world. It is that very sort of Greek mythology type thing
like
to
the
it.
mixture of the fantasy side of it.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting world to explore.
Nice. Marvel Legendary, obvious. They've done every character there is under the sun, so pick one. Or could you be Jumanjied in and be like a Pokemon?
A bystander.
A bystander, just to watch it. Oh,
yeah,
love it. Although, if I'm being honest, it would be the villains version.
But then you saying that, I was going to pick Unmatched.
Yeah.
Just to be a guy watching these legends go at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be one of them, but like you said, I wouldn't mind actually, picking one. And it's watching like in a massive like gladiator stadium sort of thing would be pretty cool.
One that me and Ant talked about while we were waiting for James to turn up is obviously Earth.
Yep.
It's not so much I'm being Jumanjied into something because it's based on real world, but it's more a case of it's a stunning place and it looks better than where I am. So I'd like to be Jumanjied there because it generally looks better. And the final one I wanted to mention was Inish.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to be Jumanjied in.
Technically like the Viking era, isn't it? But in Ireland?
It's the Celtic,
so
whatever they call it. I can't remember what the actual terminology is. But be Jumanjied in, straight as the Bren, in the capital, throwing parties every single day so that no one comes into my capital trying to start a fight, building armies, and just being a general menace in amongst all of that amazing
being wound up by me in my mountain pass village having a festival and you're not invited.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a stunning game. Can you imagine being in that in a world that had that kind of
style to
scenery?
it? Oh yeah, mate, definitely.
You know, it's beautiful, beautiful places. But there you go. That's our top fives.
That's it. Some good picks there, guys.
Very, very little crossover, which surprises me, I must be honest. But
I think we only had 2.
we probably would have had more, but I obviously deliberately took some out that were always going to be on James's list. So
Yeah, I see. I'm just very happy that I wiped the smug grin off your face. I've guessed your 5.
yeah, I did.
I'll be honest though, I was quite confident with what he picked. I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try as well.
No, I maintain that I was right and that you have deliberately changed it, knowing full well that I would have been right. So there we go. You owe me 5.
There is my list.
Yeah, you've been writing it while we've been playing.
He's not going to let you pass it, James.
Of course he's not.
Just agree, let him have it.
So
No, because that means giving him stuff. If I admit that he was right.
win-win. Winner, chicken dinner. I'll take a chicken dinner.
Winner, hog roast.
Well, winner, hog roast dinner. Yeah. I could be nasty and say, no, you got to pay for every meal. You know, I'm giving you a cheap option of just buying me a hog roast, roll. I think that's generous.
Yeah, about what, 12 quid?
Well, one per day is not bad, is it? It's pretty good. But yeah, how do you think the lists went, guys? Did you enjoy? I mean, it's a bit of a fun
It's
little
nice to
topic,
hear
isn't it?
people's interest as to why they wanted to do it, but I think most of it is just to have the experience of that specific game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we all did pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah. I would love to have actually, going back to the original movie and the premise of it, because obviously I came up with this because I was on holiday for a week with
And
my
watched
son,
Jumanji.
and I watched it. So I was like, do you know what? That's a pretty cool
I
concept.
wondered
of
where,
being
because he
sucked
came up
in.
with this a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I wonder how he's come up with that idea.
Yeah,
But that makes
I
sense.
rewatched the original
Right, okay.
Robin Williams one. I was like, that's a really cool concept. And I was like, actually, I wonder if there's any games I'd like to be sucked into. Oh, actually, yeah, let's do that. There we go, sorted. But yeah, any surprises, James, on anyone's list?
No, I'm not surprised at anyone's picks.
No. I mean, I'd just like to point out, because I didn't say it on my number 1. Obviously, I am going to take the role of a farmer, but he will be overweight. So,
Of course, he's you.
I am a well-fed farmer.
He's farming his own food, so there you go.
Exactly. So, what am I going to eat on Tuesday? Well, I better plan for that. Let's start fattening up Bessie the chicken. Yeah.
Just get her ready in time for Christmas.
Get ready in time for Christmas. But yeah, sure. Well, I think we should head off, guys.
I think we should.
We've been
Indeed.
chatting. You got to go to bed.
I do.
You got work early. Thank you very much for coming.
I'm part of the team, because I was going to be here.
No, there's no
Or
insult.
is he? Join us next time on the Meeple Minded.
On the next exciting episode of Meeple Minded.
Indeed. Let's head off, because I'm actually tired and I'm out of things to
You
say.
have things to say. Hit that button, mate.
I'm out of things to say. So, thank you very much for joining us this week and talking about games that we would like to be Jumanjied into. Till next week, I have been Jason.
I have been James.
I've been Ant.
And you have been listening to the Meeple Minded podcast. Join us next week for more tabletop gaming goodness. Ta-ta and goodbye.